everybody, how you all doing? Good day to you all and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please do not hesitate to subscribe to this channel and you will not regret doing so. So hit the notification bell also so that you get to know whenever I upload a new video. And as usual, I want to say thank you to all my viewers and to all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you all. You're welcome to another video here, and I want to talk about the resignation or the call for the Nigerian president to resign. So there's this video that has been trending about a Nigerian senator calling out to the president to resign because whatever it is that he has been voted in for, that he's not pulling through with it, and it seems that he's not doing anything, and that they voted him in. So I'm going to show you that video in a little bit, but I just want to say that, to be clear, let us just say the truth. There is nothing like election in Nigeria. There is no election. Everything that happens in Nigeria is just a sham. It's just for a show. Just take, for example, what is happening in the US, that President Trump is going through this impeachment process because he's being accused of trying to interfere with the electoral process. Now, think about it, that the whole electoral process is in the hands of the presidency, that the presidency decides who is going to conduct the elections, he's going to pay their bills, he decides everything about that electoral process, and it is coming back to his hands. And so, like it's said, it's not even people that vote that will change anything, but it is the people that will count it, So the constitution that gives the presidency this right to conduct elections, like, let's look at it. If you as a president, you are sitting down there and conducting an election that you are also interested in, you are partaking, and you are the one calling the shot, putting the electoral process in place, paying the people who are going to conduct it, electing the electoral chairman, and you are direct boss of the electoral chairman. How does that work? How can you come out and say the people voted? I don't know. So yes, indeed, those that live by propaganda, they will die by propaganda. By the grace of God, this is our hope. But in the meantime, we have to look at what is it that makes it possible for this kind of things to be going on. You have a Senate, and the president is supposed to not be doing something that he was elected for. Where is the oversight of the judiciary? They are supposed to do something about it. If the presidency is erring, it is the duty of the judiciary to correct that. They do that by impeaching him. So we have, just like the US, they are mimicking the US Senate and the US law, House of Assembly. Why can't they do that? They can't do that because the Constitution, again, the Constitution is fraudulent, the Constitution is faulty, the Constitution is imposed, it's a lie. And just like the Bible says it, that when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? There is nothing you can do. We can cry from now to tomorrow. We can't do anything. Like when you are here in Germany, everything you want to do, they call it the Grundgesetz. It means the foundational law. That foundational law is where everything hinges on. Anything you do, they refer back to that Grundgesetz. If you want to say this thing is not according to the law, you will be quoting from that Grundgesetz, from that constitutional law. We don't have that in Nigeria. We don't know whatever the constitution is because it was imposed on us. That constitution is a lie. And the first sentence, they say, we the people. There is nowhere in the history of Nigeria where anybody convened to have a constitution to govern a country that is called Nigeria. This constitution was imposed, and in it lies the faultiness of all that is happening in Nigeria. And politics is everything, people. Politics is everything. Once we get the politics right, every other thing will fall in place. I know a lot of people think that politics is, it's uneasy, don't talk about politics. Yeah, you're a woman, talk about how to cook the next ogbono soup, how to cook the next jollof rice. But guys, please, let us look at this thing. Politics is everything. If you look at the US, what are they always referring to? Their constitutional rights, their constitutional right, and everybody tries to correct anything they want to correct based on that. And if there is something that really needs to be adjusted, they have to adjust it from that constitution. But we don't have that possibility. And this is why a presidency has erred in every ramification of reasonable logic. But nobody can do anything because the constitution gives him absolute right. He can do anything. And this is why you have a presidency that put all the agenda of his ethnic nation above every other ethnic nationality within a country that is multilingual, multi-ethnic, multicultural. You have this cultural imposition and hegemony of cultural, of economy, of education. Anywhere you think about it, you have this hegemony, and you are talking about politics. You are just talking about redistributing resources among politicians, not about the people. There is nothing for the people. There is nothing in the constitution about how to develop or build infrastructure. There is nothing in the constitution about how to develop education. There is nothing in the constitution about how to build health facility. So you can be in the village, you can be in the city, everything is running parallel line. It's like the government is on its own and the people on their own. So when they're talking about politics, they're talking about the party members and how to distribute, positions of government among the politicians. It has nothing to do with the people. So yes, President Buhari should resign, but not only him. It is time for us to demand a complete dismantling of the whole political system. All the politicians should resign. No more politics. It is time for us to go back to the foundation. We must correct the foundation. The Bible said it. If the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? Nothing. So you must go back to that foundation. You must go to that foundation. And this is the time to do so, because Boko Haram is coming, guys. People are running. Communities are already decimated. Boko Haram is launching attacks every day. As if that is not enough, they are releasing the captured Boko Haram fighters and releasing them back into the fighting force. They are releasing them into the military force. They say they are rehabilitated. They even give them money. So there is no end in sight. There is an agenda that is out there. We don't know what it is. But what we can do is to address the Constitution. The Constitution is a scam. Nobody convened to have that Constitution. That Constitution was imposed. And the first word it says, we the people. Nobody, no people. Just some people, some military officials, they sat down together and they did whatever they did. Nobody was consulted. Of all the ethnic nationalities that make up Nigeria, none of them was involved in drafting of that Constitution. And now it's more than 100 years. As we are talking like this now, Nigeria is an illegal entity. It does not exist. Colonial master made it clear. After 100 years, every group that doesn't want to belong to the union can go. So this is the time to renegotiate the terms of our living together, or to go our separate ways, because the country does not exist again. So all these politicians that are crying wolf, they can't do anything even if they go to power. Look at Buhari. He was even crying. A lot of people put so many things at stake to put him there, to let him get to that power. But he can't do anything because the Constitution is not meant for the people. The Constitution is meant to enrich multinationals and enrich the elite and enrich the politicians. The Constitution does not give room for development or for any form of economic, infrastructural, educational, health facility, nothing whatsoever. So we need to go back to that Constitution. So you hear people talking about Constitution, constitutional reform. All elections must be stopped forthwith. All politicians should resign and go back. So if there is anybody in doubt about the powers that the Constitution bequeaths to the presidency, this administration has laid it bare. Like, they have committed the most heinous form of atrocities, but nobody can impeach them. Look at President Trump going through impeachment process, and Nigeria, there's not even any talk like that. And what they are running in Nigeria is ethnic politics, and they will say, my region, somebody from my region is going to rule, or the presidency is going to this person in this region. That That's it. Just among the politicians, they are the ones that benefit from it. The people, look at ex-president Obasanjo. He has been governor, he has been president for how many times? But look at the region where he's coming from. Even the road to his hometown, you know, there is nothing whatsoever to show for it. So if you look at everybody that is crying and saying anything about the government and all this, once they get to power, that constitution makes them incapable to do anything. They are not able to do anything again. If you look at President Buhari, he was crying and saying he wants to go to power and change anything. But when he got there, he started running an ethnic agenda. He started focusing on himself and his family. Even, you know, he started using the whole country for the purpose of doing everything for his ethnic nation and neglecting the rest of the nation, you know. And he started committing atrocities. He started, you know, using military against everybody, and press is no longer free. So many things, even the things he talked against, you know, he got there and he started doing. The same can be said of every one of the politicians. All of them have been in power in one capacity or the other. There is no change. So once they are not in power, they are crying for and saying, but when they are in power, they are not able to do anything because the constitution doesn't allow them to do. So guys, I want to stop this video here now. I'll continue it tomorrow, and I want to say that constitution needs to be revamped, and all the politicians must resign. Not only President Buhari, all of them must resign. So what do you think about what I've said so far? Let's continue in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching until this point. Don't forget to like this video. Join me here at the Blessed On channel. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.